There you go. Hey, spatial stuff is
When
important.
the dust settles, let me know.
Going down. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put the microphone here. Hopefully that will be enough for everybody to be heard.
Fun activity.
Yeah, that was getting to know each other. I missed
What
it,
did you
Wendy.
do with
I
Joe
did.
in the meantime?
Don't ask, don't ask, don't ask.
Same. Why isn't it? What?
Committee meeting or October 26th, 2020. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Put it all around.
Right over there.
Well, my stuff.
No, all your stuff is there. Watch out for the cord.
My musical table.
Quite amusing.
We should have had some music though.
We should have. Could have sung a song.
We could have sung a song.
Or more the table.
The school committee knows exactly what it's doing.
All right, Alan, that was a little loud. A little loud.
It is recorded. Hey, now,
Oh, no.
We're instilling confidence in everybody right now. Okay, well, let's call this meeting to order. Shall we do the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do we have any agenda adjustments?
Yes, we do. In addition to the information items, for a short discussions on the proposed quarry.
Okay, so we can do discussion.
Discussion item?
What would you put that?
Do it on presentation reports.
Information items?
Not there.
What do you want to do under presentations and report?
Presentation report makes sense.
Okay. Item 6.
Okay, so was that a motion?
Yes, that was a motion.
Thank you.
I like the second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's a vote.
And Janelle, I got at the, just before I came down, a survey. And you all have a copy in your folders. Do you want to put that on the agenda?
I believe David was gonna talk about that in his,
Will you? Okay,
in his
then we
superintendent.
need not do that.
It will show up at the appointed time.
Okay. Just magically appear.
Thank you.
Wow.
Okay. So minutes, did anybody have any amendments to the minutes of our previous meeting?
There was one thing on the workshop, is it 5:30 and not 6:30?
I fixed it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just
That's the
had
old one.
one spelling last name.
Marcia Christensen with an E.
No, we've already.
Yep.
Yeah. Taken care of that. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
So moved.
Okay, second. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's a vote. Okay, do we have any public comments on agenda items?
Nothing on the sheet.
Going once, going twice. Sold. Okay, so we're at presentation report. This is where we're gonna discuss the proposed quarry.
And the fact sheet is in your file, Joe, that you sent.
Excuse me? Oh, yeah,
The fact sheet's in your file.
I had sent that. Okay. No? Okay.
Yes, Tina?
I would like to recuse myself from this discussion because I am on the planning board. So I'm going to sit mute.
You want to leave or do you want to?
No, I'll stay and listen. I'm willing to listen. I need to listen.
Okay.
Thank you, Tina.
All right. Little bit of ancient history. I was on the group of people who produced the comprehensive plan for the town. And basically that was all the way back in 2006. And in doing so, it was basically setting out goals for the town. And I'll read you just a few things that appear in the document. The town supports small-scale commercial enterprises that serve local residents, visitors, and home businesses that are compatible with residential areas. The places that have seemed to be most appropriate for new businesses are those that already have commercial uses. Both residential and commercial users should be in areas of the town that are environmentally suitable for such uses and can be conveniently served by the town. Now, we have a definition in the comprehensive plan of a village district. And the piece of property where the quarry is being placed is in the village district. And basically, the village district is defined as those areas judged to be of current or expected above average growth with some possibility of commercial development. Redistrict restricts, its purpose is to restricting compatibilities for uses in primarily residential neighborhoods, such as those uses which generate traffic and noise greater than the associated residential neighborhood. The bottom line is that we've zoned that to be a village district. And it's really not supposed to have large commercial operations there. And basically, it's a small business location. And the town is looking for suitable small-scale commercial development. And that's usually defined as something pretty small. Now, in the ordinance that got created, it's a little confusing because it talks about earth extraction. Earth materials extracted or stored for road purposes only, affecting an area of less than 2 sides, not two acres, is one, shall we say, item in the land use. And the other one affecting in 2 areas or greater in size. Now, when they're talking about road purposes only, I don't think they meant that we were going to provide road material for the state of Maine. All of the things in the comprehensive plan are basically aimed at providing services that are in the town, for the town. So it really escapes me how we could be looking at putting something like the quarry in a, shall we say, the village district. So along with the quarry, we get noise, we have water issues, vibration, dust. property devaluation. I'm a former real estate agent. And what's going on right now, people are concerned that if this goes in, they're gonna lose 30% or more in their property valuations for the building, for the residences. The key word here is residents in the protected district. In the future, I hate to tell them that you already lost it. As long as this quarry is potential, real estate agent coming in and acting for a seller, he's going to turn around and look at the house and say, there's going to be a quarry over there. So that's already happened. So the only thing we can do is if we don't have the quarry, we can take it away and they'll make them well. So where we are at the moment is sort of a bit of a pickle. Now, I realize that our planning board and our, shall we say, our selectmen are doing what they feel is right, which I don't really understand based on what I've looked at what the comprehensive plan was. And I'm not sure where things go from here, but I know that we have Barry Jordan has been out there trying to work the process so we can back up to find out why this would be considered okay in a residential area. It doesn't make sense to me. And there's a Christopher Harrington has got a description of what's happened to other areas when the neighborhood ended up having a quarry. Now, I would just say I know that the applicant is quite capable of knowing how to do this because they've done this in other I'll call it other neighborhoods or other parts of the state. But I had the illusion that our comprehensive plan and our land use plan would protect us from this, because that's what its purpose was. So everybody should be aware of what's going on, and shall we say, under economic development, once again, the comprehensive plan include provisions in land use ordinance regulating small service businesses in accordance with the stated policy. This is not a small service business. And the town was basically looking to identify and control through the town's land use ordinance areas suitable for small scale commercial development. This is not small scale. So I'm a little confused as to how we got here, but I honestly haven't had the opportunity to go back through all of the recordings of the planning board to understand how we got here. I know it would be pretty much a very serious, have a serious impact of all the houses that are in the perimeter. And we can obviously walk out the school building and sort of look that way. And the tall trees you see are where the quarry will be. So the school's going to be within about a half a mile of the quarry. And I got to believe grinding big rocks into little box, it's going to be pretty noisy and dusty. So once again, I don't understand how we got here, but you want to be sure you watch what Barry Jordan is doing, and support people who are trying to do the right thing. I guess with that, I'll be quiet.
Does anybody else on the school committee have anything they want to add? Wendy?
Well, I was told that there has been a petition that's being brought to the selectmen tonight. Is that correct, Joe?
Mhm.
And to ask for a moratorium on the project so that select people can further study it and we can get our act together. So that's one thing that's happened that I know of.
Yeah, it's, the petition is to, present signatures from the people of the town that they want to hold this up while we figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying negative about the planning board or anything else. They're against a company that's got a lot of muscle.
Now,
They probably have more lawyers than you can shake a stick at.
isn't there supposed to be an environmental impact study to be done before any type of work like that?
Excuse me?
Isn't there supposed to be an environmental impact study done before any type of work like that commence?
My hearing is atrocious.
He's asking
Thank you.
if an environmental impact study, is there a
I'm
requirement for
aware
that?
that anything's been done.
But is there a requirement in our comprehensive plan
Well,
or
how do
land use
how do you
ordinance?
know, shall we say, what the, let's see how we're phrasing it. How do you know what the traffic and the noise and the impacts on things like water quality, things like that? How do you know without doing that?
Exactly.
Right.
The
Right.
EPA is usually the ones that do
So,
that study.
I'm not sure whether the process has gone to the planning board. And I don't know whether the process has gone to the state yet,
Roger.
because they've got to be involved too. There's a, how can I put it this way? I got something here which is sort of interesting. Yeah, that's, it basically environmental impacts, basically this is the state requirements.
Mhm.
And I can't see them not going forward without that being done.
Sure.
But we don't necessarily want them to have,
We don't want to get
they'd
that far.
like to have the
Stop
the,
before anything.
approval.
Yeah.
So they could proceed with that as a leverage point.
Gotcha.
So, Joe, is there something that you want the school committee to do? Do you want to make a motion for a resolution against this quarry and list out the reasons why we feel it would negatively impact the school? Did you just want to present the information as information?
Well, I'm just presenting the information as an information. We don't get a voice in it, let's put it this way. But what we do know is we're going to be impacted by the noise, the dust, probably not by land values,
Water.
water, and
We went through a lot with our well,
Yeah.
yeah.
and we don't want that messed with.
So can we make a resolution because we are a department in the town and we can can we say something to that effect?
As
a
as a school committee, if someone makes a motion and someone seconds it, we can vote on that. And if there's a
I'll
majority,
make a motion that we consider the presence of a quarry to be a threat to the health and welfare of our community.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
okay, any discussion on that?
May I?
Yes,
So boards communicate stances through resolutions. So a board, you can make a motion to draft a resolution
okay.
and then bring it back the next time. I'm not sure making a motion to make a statement is what boards do.
Okay,
I'm just, I mean,
shall we look into,
Why don't we
Yeah.
look at putting it on the agenda for the next cycle and we'll make sure we're doing it right.
okay,
Give us your words, Joe. Give us your words.
Okay, I'll make a motion to put on the agenda the next time, a statement regarding the quarry being proposed. We'll just put it for the school.
Okay,
Now, you're gonna need the previous second and motion withdrawn.
okay.
Okay,
So is there a second for this?
I will second
one?
that.
And
to that one.
can you withdraw your previous motion?
I can withdraw my previous motion now that he's withdrawn, right?
Yep, yep,
Okay.
yep. And then you two are on as the new one.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, thank you for the information, Joe.
It's like fun.
Well, okay. Well, that brings us to the principal's report.
Okay, so NWEA testing is almost complete. The NWEA testing coincidentally is the test that we as a school adopted 3 years ago when we became independent. And then the state decided it was such a good test, they would use it. So it actually saves our children an opportunity to do standardized testing more than once. After some technical issues, a large number of kids being out due to quarantine, we pushed really hard last week to get everyone tested, and we are almost there. The state did extend the testing window due to all of the quarantining, but by the time they did that, we were almost done with our testing. Staff vaccine data. I reported to the state that 75.6% of our staff are vaccinated for October. We were 76.9% in September. And this month's percentage includes substitutes and volunteers who volunteer in the base building on a regular basis. And we should be at 77.8% for next month. Basically, our vaccination rate is staying pretty steady, and it's the number of staff and volunteers I count month to month that makes a difference. Thanks to Linda Hoffman, our GT teacher, we received an award in the amount of $1,100 from the Maine Environmental Education Association's mini grants for outdoor learning program. The funds will be used to purchase a trail cam and some easy macro lenses. We are very excited to see what the trail cam shows us. We'll use it out there. Harvest Fest is this Friday. This will be an all-day event, coordinated and planned mostly by Mrs. Bennett, but with support of the PCC and other staff members. There will be pumpkins, which actually somebody posted already on the Sebago community website. Lions Club in Hannaford donated about $500 worth of pumpkins to us today. Decent sized pumpkins too,
Nice.
not just the little ones. And ghost scooters, trail hiking, and art projects, things the kids will do. The school store fundraiser, which I've been doing now for several years. So far this year, the school has earned over $400, and the teachers will be receiving over $2,700 in additional individual reward certificates soon, with kindergarten so far being the biggest winner with over $850. And that's for the teachers to buy something for their classroom or some things. Parent-teacher conferences will be held next week, with the majority of them happening on Monday and Wednesday. Along with the conferences, we will also have the Scholastic Book Fair. It will hopefully be open to the public on the evenings of Monday and Wednesday, but we need volunteers to help man the fair if anybody out there wants to volunteer. Please contact me if you're interested in helping out with the fair. The Penny War will be held during the week of November 15th to 19th, and classes will be divided into 2 groups, with the top group getting recognized for their team effort. All money raised will go directly to the Holly Jolly Helpers program. Notices were sent home last week to families about Holly Jolly Helpers program, and we've started to hear back from some families to sign up. If you would like to help, please reach out to me. It is a wonderful program, and we've actually had So members of the Mrs. Maine competition have offered to help us with some of the shopping, and wrapping, which is really awesome. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Kirsten.
Welcome.
Okay, Chairwoman's report, which I normally don't do, but tonight, Justin has agreed to join our operations committee. So that's awesome. And Joe and I will comprise the finance and negotiations committee along with David. So for committees right now, that's what we have and that's who's on them. And that's my report. Superintendent's report, sorry.
My report's a little bit longer. So I've got, first of all, just a huge thank you. Hopefully many people have noticed the newly painted shutters and cleaner front to the old building. Spice, which is Sebago Partners in Community Education, closed, good, perfect, thank you. And especially like to thank Marcy La Liberty, Grove Newcomb, Phil Lowe, Frank Merritt for their work removing, painting, installing the shutters. And also Claudia Lowe did some strategic plantings to hide the propane tank. So it's not the first thing you see as you come in the door. And really heartfelt thank you to all of you. In addition, Spice and the PTC are working together to develop some after-school enrichment opportunities for our students. We look forward to hopefully getting some of those up off the ground before the start of the new year. So one of the things we know we don't have enough of in Sebago are before and after school opportunities, and we hope to begin to add some of those to what we offer our students. Also a big thank you to the Lions Club and Lynn Green, who reached out to us. The Lions Club offered to pay for milk for all students this year. It happens to be a year when the state is providing free lunches to all students. So rather than let that thoughtful gift go to waste, we asked if they would be interested in covering some unpaid lunch bills that some families have accumulated over time. Morgan Terrio, our food service director, worked with Lynn Green, and they came to an agreement. So the Lions Club is going to help us cover some lunch debt that families were unable to cover. So thank you, Lions Club. The school committee videos are back up online. I wanted to let you know at the meeting what I shared in my email update. A community member contacted YouTube and said that there were comments made at a meeting that violated YouTube's policy around COVID-19 medical misinformation. YouTube had a look and they took all of our school videos down. We contacted YouTube. It's the first time that this happened. We promised never to have it happen again. The videos are back up online. I will share with Alan, it'll be part of the minutes, a link to YouTube's policy around misinformation if people are interested. I need to talk about bus behavior. We have had ongoing behavior concerns on both an elementary and a secondary bus run. Our director of transportation, Kirsten Goff, has ridden behind a bus multiple times when the driver felt that it was unsafe to proceed. They pulled over. Kirsten got on the bus, spoke with the students. We have communicated clearly to all of our students that Bus transportation is both a privilege and a responsibility. The code of conduct for transportation has been shared again. We would ask all parents and guardians to please speak with your student about appropriate bus behavior. It's important for all of us. COVID update for the month. I would like to share a survey that, is it in your packet already? Great. That we did in September. I forgot to share at our last board meeting, and I'm sharing it now. I would like to highlight two components. The first is that when we asked about communication, information, and safety, the positive responses were overwhelming. So we'll continue to do some surveys on a regular basis to make sure that we are working with our parents to best support our students. In addition, we asked about mask wearing. We asked about how does your student feel, and then broke it into a number of different options. Information when next we revisit our reopening plan. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Share more. Staffing. Willow Timothy, one of our special education ed techs, has requested a reduction in hours. I approved that request. And Eileen Maines has resigned, with the result being that we find ourselves 3 ed techs short of full staffing. We had to change our pre-K programming because of our inability to hire an ed tech. We need 2 adults in the classroom to work with 14 students. We couldn't find one. We, as I shared with you in the email update, we have now modified the pre-K program to be 2.5 days a week, 7 students in the class, except for Fridays, which is a half day, and we have an ed tech willing to work a half day Fridays. The staffing shortage is real. We have been advertising since July, and we have not had applicants. We again request anybody in the community interested in working with our youngest learners, please contact us if you have questions, apply if you can. In addition, our response to intervention, or our RTI structure, had been two faculty members, staff members, working with our students who need additional help in the regular education setting. With the resignation of one of those positions, we find ourselves unable to deliver the same level of support for students who need that classroom, additional support. We have been fortunate. Leslie Connell has agreed to add Mondays to her schedule, and we've arranged it so that students are still getting both math and reading support, just not at the level they had previously. And then our third opening is a special education ed tech. Last meeting, we talked about the 0.4 teacher who resigned the position, and Willow Timothy is going from full-time to half-time. So the result is we have a full-time special education ed tech opening. We have worked hard with staff to look at student schedules and staff schedules and make sure that we have our IEP commitments covered, but we are really tight with what we're providing for our student support. It's a statewide issue. We are not unique. We have been talking about this since I came on board on July 1st, and we continue to try to recruit and advertise. We'll keep you posted. as we go forward. Danelle said Operations Committee met today. We will be bringing forward a prioritized facilities request as part of the budget process. We're working to identify what is most important to maintain health and safety of our students and viability of our building, attaching numbers to that, and then we'll bring it forward as part of the budget process. And then last two items. I met with our accountants today to review the first quarter financials. We looked closely at the salary and benefit lines, which are the ones that have the most money in them. All of those lines are roughly at 75% of the total budget, which is right where you want to be after 1 quarter of the fiscal year. We are looking closely at our special education costs. We've had some additional students move into the district, and we're looking closely at that. We're confident that we will land the FY22 budget in the positive. And we look forward to bringing the finance subcommittee up to date in more detail to report out to the board next time. And then the last one is we will open snow plowing bids after this meeting.
All right.
Question?
Nope.
The question?
You have a
Um,
question?
Yes. What was the most recent pool testing results? from
Pool
last week?
testing was me, right? Was I
Yes.
supposed to do that? It
Yes.
was. Thank you for asking.
Look, Chris and I want to celebrate that.
All right. Here we go. Ready? For the first time since we started pool testing, we have no positive tests in any pool.
Great.
We appreciate a week of class time with no additional students quarantined. Currently, we have 83% of our students participating in pool testing with a range at the individual classrooms between 100% participation and 50% participation. Thank you for asking, Wendy.
You're welcome.
I don't know
Thank
how I
you.
missed that.
Let's give
I
ourselves.
must have taken the glasses off for that.
Keep up that good work, girls.
It's incredible Tuesday morning waiting for the email. And I mean, even though we're at 0 positives, the first email came and there were like 2 classes they were not quite ready to say something about. So like, oh, but then I came back and we're good.
Oh, good. That's great.
Thank you for asking.
So,
Alan, that would have been in my report anyway.
so there's 83% participation among all the children. Is that? what you-
Mhm.
That is what I
Okay.
said.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry,
Okay, that's okay.
that was a good question.
That's good news. Okay, action items. We have 2 policies that are second reads. Do I hear a motion to accept those as second reads?
Make a motion to accept the 2 policies.
Point of order. To accept them and adopt them.
To accept them and adopt them.
There we go.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Oh, and we probably should have stated that it's use of physical restraint and seclusion, file code JKAA, and procedures on the same JKAA.
That's funny, that's what the minutes already said.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you're good.
Oh, if only. Okay, so we have a second read on Director of Special Services job description. Do I need to read locator 2.02? Okay. Do I hear a motion on accepting and adopting that job description?
Motion, second.
Got it. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, so voted. And that. And for C, job description, first read of principal locator 2.01. Do I have a motion to accept that job description as a first read?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right. Okay. Number 10, items for future agenda. We'll do a quarry resolution next time.
Quarry resolution.
Okay. Okay, public comments on non-agenda items.
Don't think we have any signed up. No, we didn't.
We do the
We do.
Okay.
Mr. McGregor.
If you don't mind, I'll read. Pago school board members, school superintendent, and school principal. Our society and therefore our schools, particularly government schools, are being converted from being institutions that teach our children how to learn to teaching our children what to learn. Society, government, and education are intimately intertwined. First and foremost is parental involvement in the education of their children. Critical race theory is embedded in Marxism and has been inveigling its way into America since the 1920s. Bill Clinton said it most clearly when he stated the goal of government and its agencies is to promote both big government, big unions, and big business. Critical race theory does to our educational system what socialism does to our economy and societal norms. In order to attain their goals, the Constitution, because it protects a society based on the individual and private property, must be replaced by Marxist orthodoxy, communal property, and the rights of the state to determine the fate of the individual. The Constitution's purpose is to restrain government power, not to make it easy for government to exercise unlimited power. Quote, the goal of socialism is communism, end quote. Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Given this fact, it is obvious that our federal government's and many state governments' goal is to accumulate unrestricted government power over all aspects of society, and in particular, the education of our children. To attain this goal, government is enamored with never-ending crises, usually created by government. Government allows an unacknowledged crisis at our southern border to fester. Hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens, drug runners, human traffickers, sex traffickers, and terrorists have been turned loose into our country. Government has closed down oil, gas pipeline construction, closed federal lands to oil, gas, exploration in the name of saving the planet. Result, the ridiculous high gasoline and home heating oil prices with no reduction in worldwide greenhouse gases, while creating great harm to our economy. Government regulations restricting owner-operated trucks from working the docks, severely limiting hours drivers can work, and not allowing new diesel fuel trucks to operate in California. Result, supply chain disruption, ports unable to move goods from docks to end users. Critical race theory, a theory that teaches our children that if they are white, they are oppressors. And if our children are descended from at least one non-white parent, they are oppressed. This is racism pure and simple. It is an upending of the gains brought about through the efforts of Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement. CRT is resegregating society based solely on race, a pernicious concept rejected by the Constitution, the law, and most Americans, regardless of race. There's a problem. If the white race is corrupt, what will happen to biracial children? Quote, give me 4 years to teach the children, and the seed I have sown will never be uprooted. None. Getting near the end.
So before you get near the end, wear your mask properly. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Inflation hits the lowest income Americans the hardest through stealth taxes. Inflation, tax bracket creep, increased corporate taxes, and lost job opportunities. The least affected are the powerful elites in government and quasi-government and quasi-private businesses. Quote, the best way to destroy the capitalist system is to debauch the currency. Questions. Are the American people's lives becoming better or worse? Are race relations better or worse? Is our public education system getting better or worse? Is our position in the world better or worse? Do we control our destiny or does government? Quote, no amount of political freedom will satisfy the hungry masses. None. Quote, those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it. George Santayana. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Just as an informational item. I've been told that you can go on our school website to look at the curriculum that we teach here.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Other information items, future meetings. In November, on the 16th, we have a workshop at 5:30 in the conference room. And we have our regular meeting on the 16th at 6:30 here in the library. And then in December, our workshop is on December 14th at 5:30 in the conference room, and same night at, oops, that's a typo, 6:30, not 5:30, for a regular meeting here in the library. Okay.
And we posted all meetings through the end of May on the school site.
Oh.
So,
And I updated the town website calendar for the meetings.
Thank you.
So what I'm doing to know is the workshops I'm putting under notes and information. And then the agendas under agenda.
Okay.
So,
Okay, thank
and
you.
I'll take it down after the month and put the new ones up as soon as I have something.
Okay. Okay. And number 13, we have an executive session, and that would require a motion and a second to go into executive session.
Did you make a motion?
I was gonna make a motion. I'll make a motion to go into executive.
Go into executive session.
Okay.
And Joe is the second,
One of you is a second.
one or the other.
Okay, and it's MRSA 4056A.
thank you.
At 1916. And you'll send me the
I
information.
will send you the
Thank you, sir.
information. Yeah, that's all right. I know.
Okay, so I'm ending the meeting.